Hey, good morning, VCers. Tony here. Tony's LPs Are Us. Back again for number 3 of my new series. I've been getting some good comments in my comment pages about this. People like to see what other people play, other audiophiles play. And last night I picked some random LPs that I believe 3 of them I've never played at all. And so I was interested to hear what they sounded like and did some notes. And 2 of them I know pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show them to you. There's about 5. I took a photo of those. As you know, I take a photo now of that, and I'm going to show you the photo. Hold on one sec. Okay, I hope that worked. I've never used that button before. But here are the albums. You can see there's jazz, there's a sampler, there's blues, there's Joe South, who is in his own category, singer-songwriter. And we'll go over those in a sec. And I want to thank everyone once again for dropping in for the subscriptions. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you would do that. It really helps us out, and I really appreciate it. First one up is a record I've never played. Not sure how long I've had it, because I bought a few collections a couple of years back. I believe this was in it. This is from, I believe, 67. SOPWITH, CAMEL. They're considered psychedelia. They're a Frisco band. I'm sure Mazzy knows this band, and that's the hype sticker that's glued on. That was a single that charted, Hello, Hello. And this is on Kama Sutra. This is a cutout. It's got a hole punch on it. Now, what's interesting about them is they're the second San Francisco band to sign with a major record label. I'm not sure of the first one, but it may be Jefferson Airplane. Could be The Dead. I'm not sure. The players on here are not listed, but Beard and Mail are 2 of the main artists on this, I guess songwriters. They both played on Norman Greenbaum's smash perennial Spirit in the Night in 69. And Mail, who was the drummer, actually later joined Blue Cheer as their drummer when their drummer left. They only have 2 LPs. This is their debut LP. And on the inner, it was actually advertising the Spoonful, Loving Spoonful. Now, when I heard them, I actually thought they were British or English. They have a Cockney type of accent when they sing, and very similar to the Kinks. So if you go on YouTube and you play some of this, if you don't have this record, they're not common. This is a pretty obscure album. You might get that Kinks vibe that I got, and I was really surprised that they were a Frisco band. And here's the one of the early Kama Sutras. So that's Sop Hop Camel. Pretty good. Next up is something I bought when I was on vacation a few weeks ago in Maine. I stopped at a few, malls that sell vendor stuff. There people put their records in, and I was shocked. I think I did a video. I was shocked at the sticker price. $30 for a beat-up copy of Quadrophenia, $40 for a beat-up Elvis on Pickwick, beat-up, just prices were insane. There were some bargains that I was able to pick up, but that's from looking through hundreds of albums. This was a good deal, I thought, for $4. All-day Thumbsucker, a sampler on Blue Thumb. Now, the reason I bought this is because of who's on it. Southwind, Fred McDowell, T-Rex, Ike and Tina Turner, which is some songs I didn't have, Earl Hooker, Albert Collins, Chicago Blue Stars, Rosso Rio, and Love. So this is a really good compilation. It sounds really good fidelity-wise. And, of course, the cover caught my eye. Pretty strange-looking cover there. Pretty odd. Whatever you want to call it. I'm keeping it PC. The inner is pretty cool. The inner has a insert which goes into detail on the people that are being showcased here. So this was a cool pickup, and I really like this record. That's why I bought it. I keep all my compilation records in a certain section in my collection. Here's a record that fidelity-wise isn't great. Kind of sounded thin. I only played one side. That's Joe South. Don't It Make You Want to Go Home? Joe South died I read at 74 of a heart attack. And of course he had some major hits. And one that's on here is Walk a Mile in My Shoe. It's actually featured here. And you may all know Walk a Mile in My Shoes. What's the title? Yeah, Walk a Mile in My Shoes. That Elvis Presley did a great job on that in concert. Probably did it on a studio record too, but in concert, it's the same arrangement. Elvis didn't change arrangements much, and that's a green. The record's near mint, but it's got a thin mid range is not there, and bass is lacking. So I don't know. Maybe it's just his pressing, but pretty cool record all the same. This is a big star. This was supposedly a really nice guy from. I think he's from Atlanta. This album was recorded in Atlanta, Georgia. And there's other people named South on here. Tommy South, Barbara South, maybe a brother and a spouse or a sister. So, but Elvis did a great job on this. This is one that I played a few times. And last night I got into it because I cranked it. The tubes were warmed. Some jazz, Gerald Wilson Orchestra, who was a perennial big band composer and leader of his own orchestra. Nice jazz record, really good sound. I believe he's a keyboardist and also horns. He died recently, or 10 years ago. He was around 93 or whatever. I'll show you the label right there. So the record's really clean, as you see. But I put this on. I'm not a big fan of this type of jazz. It's more, and it's like a hyped up Duke Ellington with a big orchestra with a lot of horns. This has a lot of horns. Also reminded me of Buddy Rich records with his orchestra, talk show orchestras, that type of thing. But he was a renowned composer, and a few of these, half the records on here, half the sides on here, Mr. Wilson has composed, but a great artist, a great jazz record. So I played that last night. And the last one up had the best fidelity. When as I'm doing them all together, you could really get the feel for it. This is called RIP, Rest in Peace, SIEGAL SCHWALL Band. That's SCHWALL. And they have many albums, but in 1973, they won a Grammy for Best Cover Album, if you look it up. And it's very similar to the cover of this album. What was cool about these guys, and these are excellent musicians. Man, they were doing blues and country rock and jamming, and there's like mic talk in between studio talk. Record was really good. Out of all these, I enjoyed this one, probably after the sampler the most. But they were the house band at the Pepper Lounge in Chicago, and everyone who came in to Chicago sat in. Buddy Guy, Muddy Waters, Bo Diddley, Otis Spann, Magic Sam. They all sat in on this band, and these guys were rocking, man. They were unbelievable. So Corky and Jim, Corky Siegel, Jim SCHWALL, I guess it is. There's the album, still has a shrink on it. You can see that. But this is, they were on RCA as well, but this was on Nickel, which was a Chicago-based company. And let me tell you, unbelievable pressing. This is a near mint pressing, and I really enjoyed it. This is from 74. And I'll just read the liner notes here. After 4.5 years, the band departed in February of 74. Jim wanted to get a little more. That's when the band disbanded. Jim wanted to get a little more into farming, and the rest of us accepted the possibility of a disbandment as an opportunity for change. Positive thinking, right? We were a bit reluctant considering the fine times we always had together. Well, in March, Wood and Nickel and RCA, I guess RCA distributed Wood and Nickel, asked for one more SIEGAL SCHWALL record. And rather than just putting together some old tapes, we decided to go into the studios and do some of the things we always wanted to do. So that's really nice. They actually got back together, and Corky is piano, harmonica, and Jim is guitar and mandolin. Rollo Radford plays bass, and Sheldon Ida Plotkin plays the drums. This is mastered by Arnie Acosta at the Mastering Lab in Hollywood. Mastering Lab, and don't know Ernie Acosta, but if anyone knows other stuff that he's on, please let me know. But what's cool about this, they do Take Out Some Insurance, which is Take Out Some Insurance on Me Baby, and they do a nice take on that. They do a Little Richard tune, I Can't Believe You Want to Leave. They do a great Muddy Waters, not as good as Muddy, obviously, but they do Long Distance Call, and Corky says here, okay, let's do it with just bass and electric piano and see what happens. It took 5 minutes to lay this track down, but Barry spent about 2 hours working on the piano sound. So, and the right time, the nighttime's the right time. So there's a lot of classic covers on here, but this is what I listened to last night, and here's the Wood and Nickel label. And, it feels like an RCA pressing when I think about it now that I'm holding it. For some reason, it has that. But really cool stuff. I hope you enjoyed this segment. It's what I did last night. So let me know what you guys played last night, be it CD, 8-track, reel-to-reel, stream. Mr. Stinton and vinyl primarily because I want to see what the pressings sound like, if you can lay that down for us. But thanks a lot, and I will see you next time. Keep rocking. I really appreciate everything. Ciao.